Sweetheart, you don't understand how business works. Dad didn't even look up from the printer. Mom just smiled. Too soft, too fake. You'll always be part of it. You just don't need to sign anything.
Hi.
My name is Cameron Rhodes. I'm 29, and I was raised by two people who could gaslight a fire extinguisher. 6 months ago, I cashed out my entire savings, $60,000. Money from freelancing, tutoring, and 3 years of skipped birthdays. I wired it into our shared account to help launch The Dream, a family-run creative studio. Small, personal, honest. That was the pitch. They promised partnership. They promised equity. What I got was an oops and a smile when the incorporation papers arrived, with only their names listed. Liability, Dad said again. We're just protecting you. The office lease? In their name. The bank account? Their names. The website? Built by me. The brand? Named after my childhood nickname. And still not a trace of me in writing. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just moved out quietly 3 weeks later, packed my design files into a backup drive, and started waiting. They thought they'd built something without me. Until this morning, when their biggest client called my personal phone and asked me one simple question. Cameron, why did your parents remove your watermark from the original logo suite? That's when I smiled, because finally someone saw it. The crack in their perfect story. I'm sorry, I said to the client, trying to keep my voice steady. Could you repeat that? Grant Wallace didn't hesitate. The master brand files are corrupt. Fonts missing. Colors off. I asked for the originals, and they sent over some Frankenstein version. Looked like it was built by a student in 2009. I already knew what happened. They'd stripped my files of metadata, removed my name from the creation history, and worst of all, they tampered with the design signature I embedded in every single asset. Not visible to the eye, but traceable in the source code. That's strange, I said carefully. I can take a look if you'd like. His voice shifted. Cameron, you were the one who designed our whole identity, weren't you? I paused. Yes. Silence. Then, come by Monday. Alone. After we hung up, I opened the folder labeled CR Studio. Every project I touched, every layer named, every decision backed by strategy. I never deleted a thing. That weekend, I didn't rest. I audited everything. Emails, time-stamped backups, client notes. I built a folder labeled Proof and saved it in 5 places. By Monday, I walked into Grant's glass-paneled office with a flash drive and my spine finally intact. He didn't even shake my hand. Just said, "Can you run point on the rebrand? I want to cut ties with them." I nodded. "They'll retaliate," he warned. I looked him in the eye. I hope they do, because this time, I'd already hit record. Retaliate, they did. That same night, I got an email from my mother, subject line, urgent. Please call us. No greeting, no apology, just one sentence. You're jeopardizing everything we built. Everything we built. I didn't reply. 2 hours later, a lawyer called. Said I'd violated a verbal NDA. Said I was stealing clients. Said my behavior was malicious. I let him finish. Then I emailed him a zipped folder with 2 attachments. My original investment agreement, scanned, signed, dated. Metadata logs showing I created 92% of their brand assets, months before their LLC even existed.
He didn't call again.
But my father did. He showed up. I was locking up the co-working space I'd just rented, bare walls, secondhand chairs, cold coffee in the pot. He stood outside like a ghost I hadn't summoned. Cameron, we didn't mean to cut you out. You printed the papers without me. It was just for now. We were going to fix it.
When?
After I disappeared entirely. He didn't answer. I just want things back to the way they were, he said quietly. I laughed. Because that was the problem. They wanted a daughter who gave everything and asked for nothing. A silent partner. A shadow. But that version of me? She died the day I moved out. The one standing here now? She was building her own company, with their top client and her own name on the door. And she wasn't going back. The article hit Tuesday morning. A quiet little post on a branding blog, The Invisible Founder, When Creative Work Gets Erased. Written by a former client-turned-friend. Not angry, not dramatic, just facts. It never mentioned names, but anyone in the industry knew exactly who it was about. By noon, I had 8 DMs from ex-clients asking if I was taking freelance work again. 2 offered retainers. 1 asked to invest. I said yes to all 3. Meanwhile, my parents posted a statement. Due to misinformation circulating online, we want to clarify that CR Studio has always been a family-run agency, and we regret any recent confusion. They used a photo of us from 4 years ago. I was in the middle, smiling, unaware that they were already planning to cut me out. I didn't respond publicly. I didn't have to. That night, Grant sent me a message. You might want to watch this. Attached was a screen recording of a Zoom call, his procurement team, my parents, and a silent legal observer. Mom was flustered.
Dad, try to stay calm.
Cameron was never on the paperwork, he said. Yes, the legal observer replied. Which is why none of the intellectual property rights belong to your agency. Silence. Then, we're terminating your contract, effective immediately. And just like that, CR Studio lost its biggest client. But this wasn't revenge. This was the consequence of writing someone out and forgetting she kept the receipts. And now, she had the pen.
They didn't go quiet.
They went loud. The next morning, I woke up to emails from old professors, distant relatives, even my former roommate in Portland, all forwarding the same thing. A mass email blast from my parents' new PR consultant, titled Setting the Record Straight. They called me confused, said I'd misunderstood the structure of the company, that my youthful inexperience led to hurtful assumptions. It ended with, "We love our daughter deeply and hope she'll one day return to the family business with open arms." I nearly threw my phone across the room. They weren't defending themselves. They were rebranding me as the villain. So I made a choice. I uploaded my full investor contract with personal information redacted and posted it to my portfolio site under a new tab. Transparency. No drama. No captions. Just facts. Then I went one step further. I created a timeline. Date of investment. Date of incorporation without me. Screenshots of logo creation, brand drafts, and proposals, every one signed by me. The Zoom audio clip. The metadata logs. No commentary. Just documentation. Within 2 hours, it was trending on Twitter. Within 4, a branding podcast requested an interview. And by midnight, a boutique agency in Seattle offered me a partnership with equity from day one. My parents always said I didn't understand business. Turns out, I understood it better than they ever would. Because I built mine on truth. And I didn't have to erase anyone to rise. 2 days later, they showed up at my office. Not together. Separately. My mom came first. Red lipstick. Nervous hands. She brought coffee from the cafe I used to love as a kid. "I just want to talk," she said softly. I didn't invite her in. "I never wanted it to go this far," she whispered. "It was your father's idea to keep you off the paperwork. I went along with it because we thought you'd come around." I stared at her. You didn't think I'd fight back. Her silence answered everything. "I was proud of you, Cameron. I still am." "Then why did you let them write me out?" She looked down. "Because we didn't think you'd survive without us." There it was. The truth. She hadn't believed in me. She'd believed in their version of me. Quiet, loyal, invisible. An hour later, Dad arrived. He didn't knock. He walked in like he still owned the room. "I want to make things right," he said. "We'll add your name to the company. A full stake." I laughed. "The company you just lost half of?" His jaw tightened. "You won't last alone." I stood, opened the door, and looked him square in the eye. "I already am." As he stepped out, I saw something I never thought I'd see on my father's face. Not anger, not shame.
Fear.
Because he finally understood. I wasn't their daughter in the background anymore. I was the competition. The Seattle agency sent over the partnership contract on a Friday. I read every line, Every clause. My lawyer reviewed it twice. And for the first time in my life, I signed something that wasn't handed to me by my parents. This wasn't a seat at their table. It was mine. By Monday, the press had picked up the full timeline for my website. No embellishments, just evidence. And that was enough. A piece in Fastco called it, "The Silent Founders, When Women Build Brands and Get Buried Behind Them." My inbox exploded. But it wasn't just the attention. It was who it came from. Designers, developers, junior creatives, women, queer folks, first-gen kids like me, all with the same story. They used my work, then cut me out. Your story is mine, except I never fought back. That's when I realized this wasn't just about my parents. This was about a pattern, and I had a platform now. So I did what they never expected. I launched a mentorship fund. Small grants for overlooked creatives, people who needed a laptop, or tuition for a branding bootcamp, or just someone to say, "I see you." I named it after the nickname my parents gave me when I was little, the same one they used for their company. Only this time, the LLC was mine. The ownership was mine. The signature at the bottom of every document? In bold, gold lettering, Cameron Rhodes, founder. And there was no one left to erase me. I never sued them, never sent a demand letter, never asked for my $60,000 back. Because by the time their accountant filed for dissolution, that money was just a fraction of what I'd built on my own name. Their company faded quietly. No farewell post, no public closure, just an expired domain and a shuttered office with dusty window clings no one bothered to peel off. But me? I was just getting started. The Seattle agency rebranded under a new name, Studio Road. I chose it myself, not just for the legacy they tried to erase, but for what I became when I stopped waiting for approval. The day we hit our first seven-figure quarter, I stood in the middle of our downtown office, full staff, real interns, a line of clients waiting to talk. And I thought about the day I wired them that $60,000. How naive I felt. How invisible they made me. How I bit my tongue and let them print the story without me. But here's the thing about being erased. Sometimes, it gives you the space to rewrite everything in your own ink. And when their biggest client picked up the phone to call me directly, that wasn't luck. That was proof. Proof that quiet work speaks loudest. That truth echoes longer than spin. That sometimes the best revenge isn't fire. It's foundation. One they can't touch. One built in your name. One that lasts.